Hey everyone. Okay. Hi everyone, it's Rita. All right. Hi teddy bear. Oh, hi everyone. Everyone saying hello. Good morning. I hope we can get some folks on this morning to our Cricut Chat, live chat, which is a daily program that we offer here on Facebook, that I offer here on Facebook. And then we put it on YouTube so you can see them if you miss it, or if you miss part of it, you can come back and watch it on YouTube. And you can find that at Miss Rita to the Rescue or Cricut Chat with Miss Rita. Both go to my YouTube channel that has literally dozens of videos that you can watch all about cricketing, all about doing different things with the Cricut, whether it's paper products like making cards or 3D paper structures, or if you want to try out some of the latest and greatest things in iron-on, Infusible ink, the mug press, just about everything. We do it all here on Cricut Chat. And I am so happy to have a wonderful group of people that join me most every day to talk about one small snippet of what it's like to own and play with a Cricut every day. So today we are taking a sidestep to talk about something called Infusible ink. I introduced this a couple of years ago along with a number of other people, the product experts in Cricut, and really excited about this product. And then when the mug press came out, and we found out that you could only use Infusible ink with the mug press, that kind of changed things up. Up until that time, a lot of people, they knew about it, but they didn't really know how to use it. They were very used to using iron-on, and they didn't understand how to use it. And a little scared of it, I think. Some people were a little scared of it. So we're going to go over how to use this. We're going to break this up into a couple of different classes this week so that we can talk about all the things that we can do with Infusible ink on soft surfaces. Everybody has seen the demos for the mug press, and you can actually see my mug press in the video, but we're not going to use the mug press today or this week, really. We're going to use our easy press, which is over here on the side here. And I'm also going to use this brand new Cricut Explore 3. I haven't been using it all that much, so I wanted to give it a little bit of a workout, and we're going to show you how to use Infusible ink. Now, there have been a couple of Infusible ink mystery boxes out that have great buys. The Infusible ink comes in this kind of square paper box, and what you'll notice is sometimes the boxes have 2 and sometimes they have 4, but they each have, in this larger box, they each have a 12 by 12 sheet. And then also they give you, butcher paper. So here is one that's open. This is a 4-pack that is called Jungle Safari, and it has these 4 sheets of, they're called transfer sheets, and I want to just talk about a little bit about what they are. So they're all rolled up and you'll notice that here on the back, the shiny side, it says Infusible ink, so you will not get confused. And then this side is kind of a matte side, and in this particular one, it's all bugs, all different kinds of bugs. Now this is the surface that has what's called it has an ink. No, it's not called ink. This is the surface that's actually the Infusible ink. This is just the transfer that is on the ink. And we're going to go over basics about Infusible ink. We're going to actually do a couple of t-shirts for teenagers. My son's a teenager, and he is always going through t-shirts. And the thing that I like about Infusible ink is that he'll grow out of the t-shirt before the actual ink wears off. So you don't have to worry about any kind of peeling or chipping, cracking that you can sometimes see with iron-on. And this is really kind of an interesting product. Now, when this first came out, some people were asking, is this sublimation? It is Cricut's version of sublimation, and so it uses a Cricut machine to cut. We will do some sublimation t-shirts and other projects this week, but I'm going to stick mostly with the Cricut brand, and a lot of what you learn here is also transferable to your sublimation printer. Some of you have purchased sublimation printers, as have I, and it's a very similar process as far as adhering it to a shirt, okay? But the actual printing process is a little bit different. So this is kind of Cricut's version of sublimation printing, okay? It's not printing, it's cutting out, and you do buy these boxes. I will also mention that Infusible ink does now come in these smaller boxes specifically for working with the Joy. They are the exact same thing, just smaller. And they work, that smaller version works great with the mug press because you don't have to trim it down for the mug press. But I happen to have a whole lot of these transfer sheets, so I wanted to show you what you can actually do with them, okay? So to do what we're going to do today, we do need a machine to cut it out on. We need a shirt or a surface, a soft surface that has a very high polyester count. Now you can buy these either at Cricut.com. That's what this is. This is a Cricut version. Or you can buy them like on Amazon and other places, but they need to have a very high polyester count. If you do this on the 3 for $10 Gildan shirts that you get at Michael's, it will appear to work, maybe not nearly as bright, and then after a couple of washes probably won't, it'll probably just fade. It needs that polyester, and let me tell you why. So on here, on these transfer sheets, is actually ink that's impregnated onto paper, okay, and then it's put on this transfer. So what happens is we use heat to turn this ink into a gas. We use the heat and we turn it into a gas, and then that gas, being a gas, has to go somewhere, and so it goes into the shirt. Unfortunately, the way, if you're into chemistry, the way this works is that it needs to have the fibers of a polyester surface to adhere. It just doesn't work with a cotton shirt. You can try it, and there are also other things like you can spray on a cotton shirt and try it out from there, but the way that Cricut invented this or created this was to be used on a very high polyester shirt. So there is that. There are other tricks, and I see some people commenting saying that there are other things that you can do. And yes, there are other tricks, but today we're just doing basics, okay? So you're going to need a shirt with a high polyester count. You're going to need some infusible ink. You're also going to need a mat. Even though I'm using the Explore 3, and this uses smart materials, for infusible ink, you do need a mat to put it on. You cannot just put the infusible ink right into the machine, okay? Oops, somebody's here. So you do need a mat. You're going to also need a few other things, including you need a a piece of this, which is just plain old white cardstock. You're going to need a lint roller. You need an easy press, which is over here on the other side, and I'll move it over in a minute. And you need some sort of a mat. Okay, you need a mat like this. These mats are fabulous. They come in different sizes. I wanted to show you. And I actually got a brand new one of these. Look, easy press mat. This is my favorite size, 8 by 10, but I also have it in the larger size as well. There's like 3 different sizes, and you do need that for pressing. Okay, and I'm trying to think what else you need. Oh, you need some sort of device, whether it's your iPhone or iPad, your laptop, your computer, whatever, your Samsung, Android, to manipulate the software. And you also need it to find out the heat and the length of time that you're going to need for adhering, okay? So I'm going to be using the iPad for this Explore 3 because I think it's really cool, and all I need to do with this, if you have an iPad, is I needed to make sure 2 things. One, I need to make sure that my Bluetooth is connected with the machine that I want. So I'm going to go to settings here, and you see here where it says Bluetooth on. So click on that and you will see all of these devices, and I have quite a few of them. I have an Apple Pencil, I have 2 Air 2s, an Explore 3, that's the one we're working with. I have a Joy, I have 3 makers, and I also have AirPods and other things. So these all come up under Bluetooth. When you turn on your Bluetooth like this, you then see all your devices, whatever you happen to have. And it's only usually, you'll see them, but they won't connect if it's not in range, by the way. So I'm going to look for the one that I'm going to use, which is the Explore 3. And you see it says not connected. So if I click on this, it will connect. That's step number 1 when using an iPad with any machine that has Bluetooth. Okay, so I'm connected. But then I also have to go over here to my Cricut Design Space iOS is what it's called, iOS. And this is the software that runs on the iPad. It runs on the iPhone and also mobile devices. So it's iOS. Now, this is a slightly different software than the software you may be using on desktop, but that's okay. It does most everything, right? It does most everything that our desktop version does. There are a few things that it does not do yet, but it does most everything. So it's very similar to what you're used to if you're working with a desktop. So here is home, and then you'll see up here canvas, and then there's also make, which is when you're ready to cut. So when you log into your iPad, your iPad Design Space, what you want to do is click on your little face there, your avatar, and you want to make sure you're selecting the correct machine. And again, I've got a lot of machines, so I have a Joy, a Maker 3, a regular Maker, Explore 3, and Explore family. That would include my Air 2s, my Explore 1, and all of that. So we're going to choose Explore 3. That's the one we're working with right here, and that's important because otherwise it will not cut for you. Okay, so when I have a number of images that I want to show you, and I'll give you these files that I put together, but what we're going to do is some pretty basic infusible ink today, and that means that it's just going to be one color. And I want to point out that these are this one here, which I think is just absolutely great is a pizza. It says you had me at pizza, and it's 2-color, but we're going to work on that at different time because there are special things that you have to do if you want to use more than one layer of infusible ink. It's not the same as when you iron on where you actually just layer it. You actually have to slice images to do them all at once. So you can't really do infusible ink like twice on a surface. You have to slice it all and do them all at once. So today we're going to work on some pretty basic ones, and I found these really fun punny. They're called punny t-shirts. I have 3 different files that I'm going to give you, but this will appeal to my son. Punny t-shirts. I love this one in particular. It says, "Don't listen to me. I make up everything." So it's an atom. Get it? The atoms make up everything. So I thought this was kind of fun. And then there's this one here. "Your argument is irrelevant," which is funny. And then this one, "My puns are koala tea." So there are all these little kind of fun things. To find them, I went to images, just like this. I touched on that image, and I went to highlighted categories and image sets. Okay, now there are over 4,000 different image sets in Design Space. So if you just want to find things that are t-shirts, it's helpful if you just type in a search word. So I'm going to type in shirt, and we will see that we get a lot more. We get like 50 results, but it's less than 4,000, right? And we can go down here, and this is actually the one I think that I use. It's called Funny T-Shirt Puns. There's also one called Punny. Here it is, Punny T-Shirts. This is the one that I used. Now you'll notice that these images are 2-color, okay? And we're going to turn them into a 1-color, okay? Because we want to do this very simply, very basically. So let's choose this one. I don't give a frap. And we just press on that. You see it's down here in the bottom, and then you're going to hit insert. And it's going to come into your canvas like this. These I'll just move over. Now you notice that these are 2-color. It's 2-color. And what that would mean is that we have to either cut it in the 2 colors that is selected, or whatever colors we choose, or we can do something called attaching, which will make all of the pieces the same color. I'm going to do that because I want to cut this out using a pattern. So here's this pattern that I like, that I got in one of the mystery boxes. It's called the River's Edge, and I like this brown. So I think we'll do this I don't give a frap in brown. So what I will do is I will go down to actions. You see, it brings up a little toolbar here, and if I hit attach, watch how the image changes. It changes all to 1 color. Okay, so that's going to make it easy for me to use just this brown on the t-shirt. Okay, so let's also talk about size. I tend to do my t-shirts with a smaller design, so somewhere around 5 or 6 inches, but you can go up to like 8 inches depending on the size of the shirt, and that's just something you'd have to figure out based on the size of the shirt. But this is, let's see, a medium shirt, and I do feel like a 5 or 6 inch design is going to look good on this. So that's what I'm going to cut it at. So let me just make a little bit of room here so I can show you. I've got a bunch of shirts, a bunch of infusible ink, and all this other stuff. So I want to just kind of show you how you do a basic. If you're me, you are crowded up with a bunch of stuff, but try to keep it as simple as possible. So here is my design, but I'm going to actually close this up because see, I have all these other designs and I don't want to get sort of messy about it. So what I'm going to do is hide these. And how do I hide them? Well, I'm going to go to layers, and you'll see it brings up this bar on the right hand side. So I don't want to do these other ones. So I can either touch them, and you'll see that down here they become highlighted, and then I'm going to just choose the eyeball and it will hide. I can do that, or I can just go on here and just click on that. It's up to you what you want to do, but you hide the ones you want to hide. In this case, I just want to hide the all but the I don't give a frap. Okay, when I'm done with that, I can just close the layer. Oops, I got one more here, and let's see, where is it? Where's my fox? Oh, okay, here. So we're going to close that. So hit layers again to remove that, and here is the image. Now the thing that's great about the iPad is that you can do the like get close or pinch and zoom and all of that stuff. I kind of like that for my old eyes, but it doesn't affect the size unless you're actually clicking on it and then changing the size. But you want to check out the size. We can hit just edit, and when you hit edit down here, you'll get this toolbar. Okay, and we'll see the size. It's 6.25 by width by 4 3/8 height. So we can do whatever size we want. I think 6 would look really good, but I think you could go smaller and slightly bigger. I don't think it's really a science. It's more what you feel like it will look like, okay? So when we have the image that we like and it's all one color, we are going to just make it. So let's just go ahead and hit the Make It button. And because I'm working on my Explore 3, I have to choose what type of material. Is this going to go on a mat, or is it going to be a smart material and does it need a mat? Or in some ways, when you have more than one mat, it will ask you for multiple ways. Well, since this is infusible ink, we do need to do this on a mat. So we're going to choose on mat. Okay, I do hope this works because I cut out, I'm getting an error message. Send to mat unsuccessful. Problem occurred when sending your project to mat. Oh, let's check my internet connection. So let's go here. It says to check my internet connection, and there, my internet connection's fine. So I could try a different one. Let me try this one just in case and see if that works. Make it. Oh, okay. It now thinks that I am online, and I'm getting a message saying that the Design Space software is going to be under maintenance. That's okay. So I'm just going to put in my account and my password, logging in. For some reason, it didn't want to accept my my other modem. And that's why we do these things live, so you guys can experience all of these. I have the wrong email or the password. I do have the wrong email. See, I wasn't paying attention. I used my Miss Rita to the rescue email, and I actually typed it wrong, so I have to use my personal email because that is what my Cricut Design Space is under. Let's see if that works. Yeah, it's working. Please don't update because then I'll be like, this is crazy. I don't think it needs to be updated. All right, so we're signing in. It's taking forever, but we are signing in. Sorry, guys. This is just how these things work. I thought I check everything before I go. Well, anyway, while we're waiting for it to log in, we are going to take our mat. This is just a plain old mat, and we're going to take our Cricut Infusible Ink box. I'm going to open it up. I like to open these, by the way, on the bottom, because then when I store them so that this is facing out and I know what's in them, because this is what you're going to see. When you open these up, you'll notice that the pattern or the color is just not as bright as what appears on the box. What you have on the box is what you're going to get. But what you see here, it's just a little more subdued, okay? So here is a brand new box of infusible ink. There are 2 sheets in this one. You also will get this stuff, which is called butcher paper. And we're going to use this color because it's kind of like this mottled brown. My son likes all those kinds of subdued colors, I should say. So here we go. I am putting this infusible ink transfer sheet onto a 12 by 12 mat, and you'll notice that I put the named side, or this shiny side, on the mat, and this is the infusible ink side. So what that means is when this cuts out, we need to do something called mirroring, okay? And unfortunately, I am having a hard time getting into Design Space, and I don't understand why I'm doing that. So I'm going to close it out and try opening it again. Okay, so it is now working. So I'm going to go and look at my project in the cloud, and here we go. There's the one that we were working on. I have to retrace my steps, so I apologize. Image, highlighted categories, image sets. I'm going to type in shirt, S-H-I-R-T, and you will see all these different shirts that come up. We're looking for this punny one, and we're going to choose the I don't give a frap right here. Bring that into Design Space, but we have to hide all of these, so we have to go to layers and click on these and hide the rest of these, okay? Let's see, are there any others that are showing? This one, and where's the fox? The fox is not showing. Don't be negative. There's a lot of designs here. Let's see if that's the only one. So remember what we have to do. We have to go to actions, and we need to attach this so it's all one color. We want to go to edit to make sure we have the correct size, which we do. And now we're ready to hit make it. And I sure as heck hope this works this time. Yes. Okay. So here it is. Now, this is really important, so pay attention, okay? You need to mirror your design, okay? So in order to do that on here on the iPad, you're going to come up here where there's a little mat that looks like a mat, right? We're going to click on that, and here you get another bar that comes from the left, and you'll see it says on mat, material size, and then mirror for iron-on. And iron-on is also, infusible ink is also considered iron-on, so we're going to make sure that that iron-on is there. Now, if you decided, say, to change the number of times you want to cut this out, let's say you thought, all right, I'm going to make one for me and one for my whatever. If you change it, which I'm doing, you'll notice that, okay, something happened in my image, which is weird, but you'll notice that it took the mirror part off, And I don't know what happened to my image. Oh, all right. I got to go back to the canvas. Let me just make it again on the mat. Why am I having so many problems? Okay. So I'm mirroring it, but if I decide to change the quantity, I need to, so see here, let's change it from 1 to 2, just so you can see what, forget it. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, so here's my image. I can actually move this image around with my finger if I want to. I can put it in the top left-hand side. Then I'm going to hit continue. And here we go. I want to make sure, because we made a change there, so I want to make sure my Bluetooth is still on the Explorer. Yes, it is. So here we go. We're going to choose the material. So we have to go to all materials, and we are going to either scroll, or you can search for Infusible Ink transfer sheet. Do you see that? Infusible ink transfer sheet, and that's what we're going to choose. It does remind us that we have to make sure that it's mirrored, and if you don't do that, you're going to end up with an unreadable shirt, okay? I also, and this is just me, but I like to give it a little bit more pressure for Infusible ink, and now we're all set to go. We're going to take and put in I'm going to change where my camera is. You'll notice that my machine is turned on and opened up, and there's my blinking light. So I am going to take and put my mat underneath those little guides, and then hit the button so that it brings in the mat. Now, this machine will check and make sure that I have the right size mat on there. It's part of that new thing with the new machines. Okay, so it's done that already, and all I need to do is, according to my iPad, is to press this button. So I'm going to do that, and that is going to cut out my Infusible ink design. And it goes pretty fast. I mean, similar to any other machine. I want to talk about, though, the Explorer and the Maker 3 machines are really, really fast, but only with the smart materials. Otherwise, they are just regular speed. Still, it's pretty fast, but they don't like do that super fast speed on regular materials or things that are on the mat, okay? So it's cutting out at a regular speed, and when it's done, it will tell me it's done. It will stop, and then I'm going to show you how to weed it. And then we'll also put on the Easy Press. Let me make a little room here. As always, I have so many different things here. When I was preparing for this project, I did cut out a couple of Infusible ink designs so I could show you. So this one here is a donkey, or the other word for donkey, right? And it says bad, so it is a bad ass, which I think is really fun. And I did it in this sort of army camo style. So here is our completed cutout. Now, this is a fairly new mat, so I'm going to turn it over and roll it off because I don't want it to damage my cutout. Okay, put that aside, and using a pair of scissors, I'm going to just cut out my design here. And what I do with Infusible ink is if I'm using just part of the sheet and I still have other sheets, I put it back into the box like this with the other sheet. So that's what we'll do, because this is the best way to store it. It keeps it away from liquid, which will ruin it, and just sort of keeps it safe, okay? So here's our design, and you see it's all cut out, but we're not going to use a weeding tool to cut this out. We're just going to start on the edge of whatever edge, and we're going to just start peeling away. And you'll notice that, I want to just do this, that you're peeling away with your fingers. You don't need a tool to do this, but you do have to be careful, and this is why I use the more, because I want to make sure that it's cutting all the way through. It's fairly thick, and so the more does a really nice cut through. Sometimes if you don't use the more, it will sort of semi-cut through, and it will be like a little tear. It looked like a paper tear, and I don't like that. It looks kind of not so great for me. So that's why I do the more pressure. So we're going to just sort of peel this off. Go slow with it, and don't worry about moving it around. That's what you're supposed to do, sort of roll it up. And in the event, like here, this A isn't coming off, just use your fingers to sort of press into it like this. And thankfully, this part here is a little bit sticky. So if something, while you're peeling off, kind of comes off, like this, just we lost the comma, I'm going to show you what to do on that event, in that event. So let's finish peeling off. Now I need to go back and take out the inside of the letter. So let me do that. All right. But you notice that we don't have our, whoops, there it looks, that's that paper thing I was showing you, I was telling you about. So I might need to use my, I'm going to move the camera. Hold on just a sec. Okay. So see here where there's like a little bit, it's almost a paper residue. Use whatever, like you can use scissors or tweezers or even your weeding tool to just sort of scratch that off. You don't need it. It won't harm your design. I just like it to look nice. I just like, you know, it to look nice and neat. So that's what you do here. Okay, now the same thing here with the A. That kind of not coming out. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. And then we have the issue of our apostrophe, which is going all over the place, but it's supposed to go here. It came off. You can actually almost see where it cut out, I think, if you look hard enough, but we're just going to take it and put it on there, and you have to make sure you're putting it on the correct side. So this one here, it would need to go on this way, and I'm thinking this is the correct placement, but I might be wrong. Let me just check. So you want to check the placement, and yeah, that looks right, right? I don't give a frap. Definitely double check your, you glue them on, Lori? Really? That's interesting. And I suppose that works, right? Yeah. So here is my apostrophe. It's well placed. It's almost as if it just sort of, it goes in the correct place. Okay. So now we're done with the machine, so we can close it up and put it away. Now we need to get our easy press out. So I am going to need all of these extra tools that I have here, and I need my Easy Press. So this is an Easy Press. This one is the 2. I think I got it on like on HSN, and so it's not that cherry color, but green. I didn't buy it from Cricut, I think. So here we go. We're going to hit it, turn it on. Now, what setting and for how long are we going to do this this transfer? Well, Infusible ink needs a very high setting. So if you're used to using your Easy Press with regular iron-on, I would 100% suggest that you go to your browser and look for this. This is called the Cricut Heat Guide. If you're on Google, you can just type Cricut Heat Guide, and this is going to tell you with the machines what temperature and for how long you need to use. Okay, so this is my Easy Press 2. See, I don't have the cherry one, but I know it's an Easy Press 2. If you don't know which Easy Press you have, you can click on here and it will tell you. So here is the heat transfer material choice. So I'm going to scroll and look for Infusible ink, and there it is. It's the last selection, Infusible ink transfer sheet. And then I'm going to be putting it on a t-shirt, right? I do have to choose Easy Press Matte, and then I hit apply, and here is what it's telling me. I need to preheat my shirt for 15 seconds. Then I am going to put this on for 385 degrees for 40 seconds with a light pressure. And this is a diagram on how it should be set up. So there's my Easy Press. This little paper thing is the butcher paper that came in the box. There's my design, and it is facing the proper way. My t-shirt, which has a piece of cardstock in there, and then lastly my Easy Press Matte. It will show you stacking order both in picture format and also in written format. It gives you a ton of information here, including, you know, how to take care of your shirt when it's done. So this is something you want to bookmark and come back to, okay? So 385, so I have set my temperature. If you want to change your temperature on your Easy Press, you would just click on that little thermometer, and when you click on it, it will show what the current temperature is. 385 is the current temperature, and that is the temperature that I want, and I'm waiting for it to heat up. I also need to do this for 40 seconds, so I'm going to press on the stopwatch and make sure that that's set for 40 seconds. So it looks like now all we have to do as we wait for it to heat up is to get our setup, our t-shirt and all of that. Build our stack, so to speak. So here's my mat. Oop, that beep says that I'm ready to do this, okay? So here's my t-shirt. It's just a plain old Infusible ink shirt. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cardstock and I'm going to put it under and inside that shirt. Now, the reason why I do this is I don't want for the ink from the Infusible ink to sort of migrate to the back of the shirt. I want it to look like a professional t-shirt, and that's why I do that. So here we go. Then I'm going to just sort of eyeball where I want to put this. I don't have to put it on just yet, but I'm sort of eyeballing. Yeah, this looks like the right place. You know, if you want to, I always use here the neck where the little label is to sort of center it. And that looks pretty good. There's a couple of things I need to do before I actually start pressing, but I wanted to show you how the stack goes. So here's my butcher paper and I'm putting it on there. There are two sides. It really doesn't matter which side you use. I use the one that's more of a matte side. So this is the way this is going to look, and then I'm going to put my press on there. But I need to do a few things. First, I need to use my lint roller. Here's my lint roller, which is very messy. And the reason why we're going to do this is because I live in a home with a lot of animals. And even though I just took this out of the package, it's quite possible that in the air, a little bit of corgi hair is flying around or whatever. And so this is just a way to keep that stuff off of your design. Okay. So I'm going to do that. I also need to preheat my shirt. So since it is already heated up, I'm just going to put this on. I don't need to do it for the full 40 seconds, but if I do hit this little button, it will do a countdown for me. So I'm just going to do 15 seconds out of the 40, which would be what, 25? Yeah. So I need to wait for 25, and there you go. Okay, so I've preheated my surface. I've cleaned it up with my lint roller. I can do it even more. And then I'm going to place my design for final placement. I think here would be nice. Okay? So here we go. Where's my butcher paper? I'm going to put that on there. And now I'm going to take my easy press and place it on there. Now, the other reason why I cut my design sort of on the smallish side is I have noticed that if you're using a very large design, if you don't get heat to all the area around it properly, that the design tends to fade on the edges. There is a way around that, but we're not doing that today. But just so that you know, that's the reason why I cut it there, because I want the full amount of heat on the plate to be going onto my design. And it is, I don't want to move this around a whole lot. It's okay to move it a little bit. When it first came out, they said not to do that, but you can move it around. You just don't want your design to shift, okay? So there is my butcher paper. And by the way, you can reuse this unless the ink sort of bleeds out, which you will have that issue if you're using the pen. So you can reuse it as long as it's not bleeding. Now this is very, very hot, and what we're going to do is we have to usually wait for it to cool, but you guys know me. I am going to sort of start peeling on the end, and what you'll notice is that there's this back sheet, but then there's also the paper that the ink was originally on. So I am going to be removing it like this, and sometimes that paper stays on there, but in this case it didn't. Now you notice here that our color changed. There's still a little tiny bit of color on there, but I wouldn't reuse it. If you happen to take it off and something doesn't look like, let's say the eye was sort of faint, you could replace this and go back and do that eye, so that you got, so in case you got sort of what's called ghosting, you can see that. And now my shirt for Owen. Owen, do you like it? He just walked in. Do you like this shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't give a frap. Is done. Believe it or not. Yeah, it's like a Bob's Burgers episode. So let's just have a look at the design. This is not iron-on. You see, it's really
sorry
into.
To interrupt again.
Yeah.
Let's put the film.
It's over here.
Thanks.
It's really, really on the shirt. It's in the shirt, in the fibers of the shirt. And I can do this and it's not going to crack. It can't peel off. It is inside of that shirt. It will not fade, and it will not peel off. And you can wash this as many times as you like and it will still stay on. Isn't that great? Isn't that fabulous? Let me show you this again with another. Let's do the badass. And let me find a shirt. This one is kind of cool. This is like one of those baseball shirts. So I just want to show you this whole process again. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's super easy. So take it out of the packaging. Remove all the packaging. Throw it on the floor because we're creating. And there's my shirt. I'm going to take my paper and put it up into, or the inside of the shirt. Just like this. All right. Get this stuff out of the way. Remember, you gotta do your little lint roller business and preheat for 15 seconds. I'm going to turn it on until it goes to 25 seconds, okay? And once this is done, you can wear the shirt right away. A lot of times when people are doing iron-on, they like to wait, and sometimes people, don't want to wash it the first 24 hours. None of that applies. All of those rules from iron-on applies to using infusible ink. Okay? So here we go. There's my shirt. I want to just make sure I got the right placement on this. So here we go. Okay. So there is my bad ass. And I feel funny saying that on video, but it's a pun. Okay, so I'm going to place it where I want to place it. I like this placement. It has a little sticky, so it does stick. But if you feel more comfortable, you can tape it down. You don't have to, but if you do tape it down, use the tape that is meant for using with the heat press. It's a heat-resistant tape, okay? So there is my butcher paper. I'm going to take my easy press, make sure it's over the entire design, and let it go for the 40 seconds that's needed. Again, I know those temperatures because I'm using the free heat guide from Cricut. It tells me exactly what the temperature and the time should be. Okay. And yes, these shirts are very high polyester count. They might actually be 100%. Definitely, you do not need to use Cricut shirts, although they are very reasonably priced when you catch them on sale. So I usually stock up on them. I just want to see this is 95% polyester. So if you go to, say, Walmart and you want to pick up some shirts, just make sure you're getting a high polyester count. You can do, I think it's like anything over 65% polyester. So often you'll see something like cotton with polyester blend, and that will work. It will work, but 100% cotton will not work. Okay, so let's save our butcher paper, give it a second because it's really hot, and then lift. And you see that's the paper that we cut it on. And there it is. I think he's going to like this one the best because he does like the camo. And this is just pretty funny for him. So that is how. Isn't that so much fun? and super easy. Nothing to be nervous about. And look, you can do it on any kind of shirt. This is a short sleeve gray shirt, and this is a like sort of, what do they call these kind? Baseball shirts, right? And now my son has 2 more shirts to go back to school in. So I hope that this demonstration has helped you. Again, it's very basic. There are lots of other ways that you can use infusible ink. We're going to go over that. You can use it in your Joy. You can use it on hard surfaces like the mug press, but this week we're talking about soft surfaces, including t-shirts. We're going to do a wine bag tomorrow on the Joy, so I can show you how to use this on the Joy, and we're going to use our Easy Press again with the Joy and show you how to do a wine bag. I'm going to make one for my friend who's getting married this weekend. I'm going to do it maybe celebrate. So I have a couple of wine bags. I want to show you that. That's a perfect little gift, and I hope that you try it out. So thank you for coming today. I want to remind you that we have a giveaway going on right now for a Cricut Joy. It's called the Bundle of Joy, the August Bundle of Joy. It's a $250 value. It includes a machine and all the stuff you need to get started with your Joy. And all you need to do, no purchase necessary, all you need to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Facebook so that you can have 2 entries a day for the 14-day period that it's going on. Now, if you're already subscribed, then just simply share, like, or comment on any of the videos that I have on YouTube. Same thing with the Facebook. And then go ahead and enter your name and email address for those 2 entries, and you could do that every day for 14 days. So, and I have noticed that the last 2-3 people that put their name in every day for 14 days won the prize. So, thank you so much for coming today. I hope that you can use this information and you try infusible ink. It's a lot of fun, and I can understand people might be like, I don't know how to do it, but I hope that I've helped you today, and we'll see you again tomorrow and when we do some more infusible ink, but this time on the Joy, and we're going to be making wine bags, okay? Happy crafting, everyone. We'll see you again tomorrow, and have a great day, okay?